Still yanking a little bit. Lefties always yank low right. Low right. Low right. It's just the mechanics of how we pull triggers. If I'm looking at a target, I can usually tell is a person left-handed or right-handed based on where the hits are. Because lefties, we do this, righties, do that. All right, what am I doing? Retraining my hands. This is a slide that I received the other day from Doug Presson. This is my slide that you guys have seen in use for a minimum of a decade, but I think it's more like 12 years. I'm not really sure yet. I've had 2 hard drive crashes since then. I've had to recover photographs from, it's ridiculous. So the point is, the oldest photograph I could find with the original slide was from 2012, which would mean that this is a 12-year-old slide. Wow, that's amazing. I want to say it's older. Seriously, I want to say it's older. I want to say it's more like, actually, you know what, 2012 might be correct. So yeah, so this would be a 12-year-old slide, which is phenomenal. It has, I can't even begin to do the math on how many rounds this slide has on it. I sent it to Doug with complete faith that there was nothing mechanically wrong with the slide. It has been sitting for 2 years. It's been sitting somewhat for 2 years because I've been running this gun for about 2 years now and have really missed this slide. I like OEM. This is OEM. This is now OEM. That's OEM. I like OEM things because you know you're bound to have better results with OEM products. So anyways, I sent the slide to Doug. Initially the idea was I was going to send him one of my other Gen 3 slides and have him put an RMR cut on it and basically reproduce this goodness. And he goes, just send me that slide. I'll just retrofit it for this. So he cut into it. You can still see a little bit of the scalloping right there because the original scalloping for the slide went all the way to the rear. And he was able to actually cut the 2 little posts because when it comes to this, I'm going to run RMRs. So he put the RMR post and the screw holes and he sends it back to you with RMR screws that are going to work exactly the way they should. So I plated it, put an RMR 04, which is fiber optics driven, and then you Sharpie, this is a brand new one, and then you Sharpie it over until it just kind of like, it has to break in because initially it is so freaking bright that it's got like this, the ghosting effect. I mean, it's big. But what I found, when you zero these, you take that foam medical tape and you completely cover it over, so it's dimmed almost down to nothing. And when I was zeroing at 10 yards, I was getting bullet hits that were so exact that they were literally, some of the rounds were going in the same exact hole. Because you completely stabilize the gun, thick folded blanket, a bumper, a rear bag for precision shooting up front, the light is on it. You're pressed hard into it, you're sitting, I sat on the bumper of my 4Runner, and you lean into the table, into the brass bucket with the blanket and the beanbag on top. The whole point is you're isolating any movement possible. And you squeeze back with carry ammo, and it was stacking rounds at 10 yards. The 10-yard zero gives you, I forget what it is, plus or minus like a thumbnail or something at 25 yards. So, you know, you pretty much look and the hole appears. Obviously, when you're really close, you know, you're going to have to remember your offsets. So to 4 yards maybe. So I'm going to shoot the bottom left of the circle. And when it swings around, you'll see it. That's a touch lower from where I was aiming, which was about right here. No, maybe about right there. I was aiming here, the bullet hit here. This is nominal, considering that most gunfights actually occur at about this distance right here. If he had his arm out and I had my arm out and our fingers were touching, this is about the distance at which fights occur. It's just it's just point and shoot. I saw nothing. I saw no dot, no sights, nothing. It's just, that's actually on the edge. So you're thrusting the gun out in front of you and you're just getting a general, like my friend says, you take that back plate, you put that back plate on the person and you pull the trigger. Why am I doing this? Okay. All right, well, let me finish this. So what I did was, I came out here today because I was out here 2 days ago and I was missing shots that I should have been making. And it's because this is an OEM slide, not the aftermarket that I've been running now for several years. And what I found the other day when running this, I kept going, why do things feel different? It's because they are. They're ever so slightly different. This is slightly lower. Why? Because Glock OEM slides are, the height profile is lower than aftermarket slides. And here's how I know this. When you cut an RMR cut into an OEM slide, and you cut into the extractor, when you cut RMR cuts onto an OEM slide, you accidentally cap right off the top of the channel where the extractor rod goes through, or extractor detent, however you want to look at that. The spacers in the back, spring is here, and the rod runs all the way to the front and creates forward tension on the extractor. There's a hole to tap in for the screw, and that hole goes all the way down into that little channel that this rides into. Aftermarket slides don't do that. They actually make them taller so that everything stays sealed up. But what you've now done is you've changed the geometry of everything to such a degree that when you go to holster in an OEM holster, in a holster made for OEM, which is how this one is made from JX Tactical, you end up with a gun that is a little bit on the big side and it tends to hang up. And this one is just right. It is right where I want it to be. And so what I found a couple days ago when I came out here was that I had shots that were not quite going where I wanted them to go because my hands were now using something that was foreign to what I had been using. And I don't really have a lot of time. I told my wife earlier I was coming out here and she said, you don't have all the time. Yeah, I know, because my daughter's playing a volleyball game this afternoon. But I have to put as much ammo through this gun as possible to find my landmarks, because this is now my EDC, period. This is the lower that I've been running for years. This is the frame I've been running for years, lower. This is the frame I've been running for years. And I put the slide back on it, because, actually no, this slide used to be on a different frame. But the point is, this is Glock OEM, but this is from AIM Surplus. They did all the work on it. But this is an OEM slide, so now everything is different, and the sight picture is also different because instead of running the Trijicon sights that I have been running, I bought a set of Ameriglows that are actually lower. They are suppressor sights, but they're lower than the really tall Trijicons that I've been running. So now I actually, ironically, have a cleaner sight picture for the optic, for the RMR, but now what I'm being forced to do is relearn where to look. I'm doing edge hits, if you can't tell. I'm hitting on the outer edge, which is why it's swinging around so fast. And yeah, I am getting hit by bullet fragments. And by the way, anybody who tells you, oh, you're doing the tactical turtle, yeah? Try doing this in a gunfight. You're not going to be able to do it. You're going to be doing this because you're going to be so afraid of catching something. It's just the reality of it. There's so much stuff on the interwebs that gets bandied back and forth because people need to have things to talk about, and guys like me who just come out and work are like, oh, shut up. Because right now, the big kerfuffle going around again is about doing that. What? You know what? Screw it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Do it on camera. I'm not going to do it irresponsibly, but I am going to do it on camera. And you're wondering, what am I going to do? Hang on. Give me a second. I'll show you. Okay. Unloaded gun. I'm going to try to pull the trigger. Oh, wait. Oh, we might have a winner here. Oh, there it is. Well, guess what? When in the hell are you ever going to make that angle. Okay? Let's try to get this angle. See how it skips out? Yeah, I've already tried. There's nothing else on here that can make that angle. And this little guy right here, which, shut up. And this little guy right here, which is technically capable of doing it, is actually behind your belt. It's not capable of getting into the fray. I have to tighten that a little bit. Getting into the fray and causing issues. So the point that I'm getting at is people get all in a Twitter pit about looking the gun into the holster. Unless you've been on the ground, in terrain like this. The comment section is going to get stupid. This comes up every once in a while, and you guys have seen me today. I do make an effort to look, but guys, there are going to be times where things are going to occur, and you may not have the opportunity to look a gun into the holster. The only people who can fully understand what I'm getting at is law enforcement, not military. Law enforcement, because law enforcement is accustomed to dealing with turds really close with weapons involved in the mix. And this whole, you need to look at it. Folks, you don't have time. There are some times where you don't have time to look anything back into its holster. There are times where all you have is just a split second to put something somewhere to get something else out off your bat belt to deal with a problem that's been created that you're having to react to, and you don't have time. I don't even know if I want to show this. The point is, so much of the internet is so filled with people who have opinions that are based on their reality, but the reality for the armed American is dramatically different than anybody else. In fact, the armed private citizen versus the police officer, those are two worlds completely apart. And yet those are about as similar as gun wielding can get. Private citizen and law enforcement. Military, there is no comparison to the world of carrying a... You know, initially I was going to come out here and I wasn't even going to run a camera because I just wanted to get practice in it because I don't have a lot of time. But I'd be a fool to not run camera because I like to share knowledge with people. And you guys know this. If you're new to the channel, this is who I am. I'm very straightforward. I have 83 classes under my belt, 83 professional classes. That does not count the crap I have as a cop. That's garbage. That's checkbox training. I have 83 real professional, like real deal professional training classes where I went with an instructor and I learned and I tried it their way. 2 weeks from now, that'll be classes 84 and 85. And the training that I have was back in the day when training classes were 3, 4, and 5 days at a time, not 8 hours, which is what training is nowadays. If you were to take my training and actually spread it out from, you know, take all those multiple day classes and call them one class per, I need to do this sometime. Easily in excess of 100 plus. I go to training. I love to train. I love to share knowledge, and the knowledge that I pick up, I bring back and I give it to you guys for free on this channel. And all I ask is, learn, listen. Don't get in the comment section and go all hot pockets. Just listen. I love what I do. I really do. You guys know this. I love what I do. I love to share information with you guys. I'll stop there. I'm going to get back to work and get some more rounds in. As always, I thank you guys for watching. God bless you all. Get those guns out in practice. You know what?